Trey Price here. I'm an Extension and Research Pathologist with LSU AgCenter at the Macon Ridge Research Station. Today we're going to talk about our scab nursery here at Macon Ridge. Scab is probably our #1 concern in wheat. 4 out of the past 5 seasons at least. It's a disease that's caused by a fungus, Fusarium graminearum. Also other species involved, Fusarium, particularly in Louisiana. What this disease does is it causes yield and quality losses, and you'll begin to see this after the wheat's headed out. You'll start seeing heads that get bleached or a little off color, and if you look at them up close, you'll see a little pinkish to orange to salmon color sporulation, later turning black. What the fungus does is it shrivels up your kernels and basically turns them into they're called tombstones. You can compare these to healthy wheat, and it's night and day. One way that you can mitigate this is adjust the air on your combine and blow the scabby kernels out. That will increase the quality of your grain load. One of the biggest issues with this is that the fungi actually they produce a toxin, a mycotoxin called deoxynivalenol. We call it DON for short. And it's a vomit toxin. It's toxic to humans and livestock. So you definitely don't want this in your beer or your bread or your livestock feed. So it's probably the #1 wheat disease across the United States. There's many of my colleagues in other states working on this particular disease. Wheat scab, warm, wet, rainy weather favors wheat scab. So if you've got those conditions when your wheat is flowering, you probably need to consider putting a fungicide application out. We've got 4 fungicides that we recommend for wheat scab management. Problem is coverage, because you want to get coverage on the heads, you need to put out 15 gallons to the acre. Well, if it's warm, wet, and rainy, you're probably not going to be able to go out by ground. So the best we can expect, the best control we can expect with a fungicide application is around 50%. So this makes variety development very important as far as developing varieties resistant to wheat scab. And this around me and behind me is what we're doing here. This is called a scab nursery. We've got about 1,560 head rows in here, which represents entries from the official variety trials here, nurseries from throughout the Gulf South, throughout the Southeast, Dr. Harrison's breeding lines, just a lot of different genetic material out here. And what we do is we grow the fungus on sterilized corn. We use this to inoculate the plots. We put it out in the field, the spores come off the corn, the wheat flowers, it infects just like it does and when it's warm and rainy, and with the sprinkler system we create the rain during the nighttime hours. So we challenge all of these entries. We'll come through and we'll rate these entries, usually on a 0 to 9 scale. We used to do percentages, but that gets complicated. But we'll visually rate them, and we'll come out here and hand harvest these, and they'll be rated for FDK, which is Fusarium disease kernels. It's just a percentage of disease kernels, and we'll send samples off for DON analysis, the toxin analysis, and then from there the breeders will look at the data. Whatever the data drives, whatever shows up resistant, that's moved forward in their breeding programs. This is an annual project here. It's funded by the U.S. Wheat and Barley Scab Initiative. If you want more information on this project and others like it, or if you want more information on wheat scab, go to www.scabsmart.org or scabusa.org. Sorry about that. If you have any questions for me, just call me personally. Contact your local agent, anybody with the Ag Center, and we'll be glad to help you. Thanks.